brown book, baby. It's for you, it's for us, the fantasies. No one can judge us, no one can judge us. This is for us. Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you.
Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Shay Baby, and welcome to another episode here at the Brown Book Series tonight. Listen, y'all already know that I'm a romance buff at heart. I am. But y'all know that the paranormal and murder mysteries and that's my shit. You know what I'm saying? And Elizabeth Hunter, she's USA Today's international best-selling author of romance, contemporary fantasy, and paranormal mystery. So, she just got all my stuff all in one. Now, y'all already know I just had to call that girl. I said, girl, come on over here to the Brown Book Series and talk to us, honey, because she writes some good shit, and I wanted to share with you guys. So, y'all know how we do. I'm about to say Friday. My mind's on the weekend, I'm sorry. It's Wednesday night. It's 6 o'clock. The Brown Book Series is on. Go on and get your drinks together. Call your friend. Let them know we are on. And we'll be right back with USA Today's best-selling international author, Miss Elizabeth Hunter.
Brown Book Series presents Raw Romance Readers and Writers Experience. Save the date, October 28th and 29th, 2022. Brown Book Series presents Raw Romance Readers and Writers Experience, October 28th and 29th, 2022. At the Westin Old Town, Alexandria, featuring some of your favorite romance authors, Brenda Jackson, Beverly Jenkins, Iris Boland, Deborah Fletcher Mello, and so much more. The Raw experience will include book signings, meet and greet, photo ops, vendors, shopping, surprise celebrity guests, and live performances. Registration is wide open at brownbookseries.com. Save the date, October 28th and 29th, 2022. Brown Book Series presents Raw Experience.
And we are back. Do you have your drink? Did you call your friends? Did you let them know that the Brown Book Series is on? I know you did. Make sure to like and share, okay? Everybody stop what you're doing right now. Like this. Like it. Y'all liked it? Let me see. Okay. We like it. Okay. Now we need you to share it. All right? Like and share. Okay, coming to the stage for the first time here at the Brown Book Series. Let's welcome everybody, to USA Today's international best-selling author of romance, contemporary, fantasy, and paranormal mystery, Miss Elizabeth Hunter. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hello, Shay.
How are you, darling?
I'm doing very well. How about you?
Girl, I'm good, honey. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love that you're here because I am a fan.
I love that you're having me. Thank you so much for inviting me. I love it.
I am a fan of yours. I am such a fan, and I'm just like, I just gotta talk to Elizabeth because, honey, she writes the shits that I like.
Thank you.
All this fantasy, honey, all this fantasy. But before we get into your books and how great you are as an author and all that good stuff,
now you're gonna make me blush.
Tell us a little bit about Elizabeth Hunter. What is it like in a day in the life of Elizabeth Hunter outside of the literary world? Because we're going to get to that in a little bit.
Well, I've been writing full time for about over 10 years now. So so the routine has kind of shifted over the years and shifted again when I got married about 4 or 5 years ago. And
you're newlywed.
I don't remember. I am. Yeah. I met my husband actually on a research trip for a book. I was overseas. I was in Ethiopia doing research for a book, and we met. And he is in tourism.
Wait,
and
hold on. Wait a minute.
No, I'm not. I'm not joking. It does sound. It totally is 100% a romance novel storyline.
Yes.
Yeah. No. He's a tour guide. He's a national guide in Ethiopia, and so we met. His company was hired to. I was on a National Geographic expedition, and his company was hired to be kind of the local company there. And we met and we kept in touch, and yeah, we got married a couple years later. So
That's like, yes, a full-time, like a full-blown romance novel. Are you gonna write about that?
People ask me that all the time, and I don't think so. Like, it's really personal. There's no way to write that story and have people not assume that I'm like writing out exactly what happened. So it feels like way too, it's like just a little too personal, I think.
Too much of an entanglement for it'll be, they'll be like, dang, really? You did that? I'll be like, yeah, she did. She told me she did.
But my husband is a super early riser, so he very often brings me tea or coffee in bed, which is amazing, and he gets all the love for that. So that's pretty awesome. And then I get up and go to my office. Obviously, I work from home. Go to my office, and I have a pretty strict writing schedule for myself. Like, one of the things I chose to do at the very beginning of my writing career was really treat it like a job.
Right.
You know, like, I don't kind of wait for the muse to hit me. I like have my writing hours, and, you know, I have a schedule and an outline. I'm a big pre-writer, right? So I'm very organized. I plan everything out ahead of time, which not everybody does. Like, some people just like sit down and write, which is super valid. It's just different styles, right?
So you'll be considered a plotter, not a
very much a plotter. Yeah. In fact, if I have like a big series, I know how the whole series is going to end before I start writing the first book.
Okay.
Yeah, like I'm super plotter. I don't start anything until I know for sure, like, I can put everything in order and do all the foreshadowing and all of that. So like, when I sit down to actually write, I have a really good idea of like what I'm writing that day, what scenes and that kind of thing. So that's a good way. Like, I've never had writer's block because I've always just been able to plan everything out ahead of time. And that's, some of that is just luck, and some of that is just like training and 10 years, 10 years of doing this. So I sit, I have my writing time in the morning, and then like we usually my husband and I will make lunch, and we'll eat lunch together as a family. And then my sister works as my assistant, so she's usually here, and so we have a family lunch together, and then more work in the afternoon, and that's kind of my day.
I absolutely love that. That's so hot. I'm like, what? She got a full-blown romance novel going on over there. I love that. Speaking of romance novels, Elizabeth, are you an indie author, or are you hybrid?
I'm technically hybrid, but mostly indie. Like, I have some translations that are traditionally published. I have some of my audiobooks are traditionally published. I've had really nice offers over the years to work with publishers, but I like the control that independent publishing gives me. I never queried before I published. I was writing online, and I was putting stuff on my blog, and somebody told me, one of my friends told me about independent publishing. This was like back in 2010. So early days. And she's like, you could do this. Like, you could put your books up, and my thought process at the time was just like, well, I'm putting them up on my blog for free. If somebody wants to pay me anything, I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I just figures like, this is a no lose situation. Like, I'm writing anyway, and I'm enjoying it. And then very quickly, within about almost 6 months, just about 6 months of writing my first book, I was making as much as I had been when I was a teacher. So, which is very unusual, by the way. Like, I got very, very lucky. So I was like mentally thinking, okay, 5 years, if I can like make a decent amount of income within 5 years, I'll consider that a success, even if it's like part-time income. But it happened. Yeah, it just happened a lot faster, which let me, make that my full-time job. So
I absolutely love that. And speaking of books, it brings us to the first segment here at the Brown Book Series called Name That Book. Well, we take a synopsis or a paragraph or a passage or something, even a character from one of your books. Don't start drinking water, Elizabeth. From your books, and you have to name that book. Now,
okay. For fairness, I feel like you should tell them how many books I have published.
It don't matter.
It's a lot. It's over 40.
It doesn't matter. Listen,
Okay.
Beverly Jenkins and Brenda Jackson have
Right.
over 100 and something books. And
All
I'm
right,
like,
I'm getting
hey,
ready. I'm getting ready.
you're getting ready, Elizabeth. You got this. Come on.
Yeah.
So now, if we give you a name of a character, because you have some series, it is the character of that book. And if you even get the series right out, you know.
All right. I think I for sure can get the series right. Hopefully.
I might give you
Good memory. All right.
But no, try to get the book. Don't be trying to guess the series.
I'm gonna guess the book. I can do this. I can do this.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, name that book. This is easy. Character, first one. Bridget Connor.
First appeared in Building from Ashes.
That's what I'm saying. See, yeah. Building from Ashes, and that's from an elemental vampire romance.
Yes, that's the Elemental World series. So that was, I had written the Elemental Mysteries first, which was my very first series with one couple. And then I had all these wonderful side characters. So the Elemental World series is like all of the side characters, like standalone romances for them too.
Yeah, I love that. Everybody know I'm a big Angel Charm fan. Like I love vampires. I love all.
Oh yeah, I'm a long time. Like I was Anne Rice. Like I read everything.
Yeah, when it's time for me to leave about this world, I want to come back as like a shapeshifter. Like I want to.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah, I want to come back, or either a vampire or something like that. I want to be able to, I like that. All right.
Yeah.
You're doing good. All right. Name that book. Ready?
Yes.
Here we go. There. She pulled up and the water began to drain down the toilet bowl. Not a toy. Thank God. Whew.
Oh my God. I don't know who this is.
Woo, this is not a toy. Thank God's water everywhere. Jesus, the water's going to drain down here because I didn't use this on my.
This is Allie in Waking Hearts, my shifter series.
Allie, yes!
It took me a while to put it in context. I'm like, little kids. She has little kids. She's a divorced mom. She's a single mom.
Yes, Allie. All right, cool. You're doing great. Here we go. Name that book. Only when the darkness falls can you see the light of the stars.
I'm pretty sure that line first appeared in The Secret, which is the third book of the Erin Chronicles.
You know what? I love you. You are so right. You are so right. All right, let's go. Let's go. Right. This one is a lot. You go get this one too. I love this book. He survived by always being in control. She's about to make him melt now.
This is an easy one because this is actually my most recent release, which is Sweet in my Love Stories on 7th and Main. It's my only contemporary romance series, and I love that series.
I love that series.
And I love Spider, the hero in that series, is one of my all-time favorite heroes. He is awesome.
You are. Look at you. Get into it, honey. All right. Name that book. Character. Julia Brooks.
In my brand new book, Double Vision.
Double Vision. That is your new release. Double Vision. Elizabeth. Now
coming out this month, April 19th.
Yeah, exactly. So we have to show you this book cover and you gotta let us know who did the cover to this. Okay. Now, we're real transparent here at the Brown Book Series, right? So when I be in another world, like, high, look, when I be high, and I be looking at
I hear you.
This book cover.
In California, it's all legal here.
Not illegal here too in Massachusetts. It just I feel like I have double vision looking at it. Like it's magical and mystical and
it's a gorgeous cover. And I was like double checking in the book to make sure her name is Karen Dimmick, and I was double checking her her business name because I knew it was like Arcane Designs or Arcane. It's Arcane Covers. Karen at Arcane Covers. She did the whole series. She did an incredible job. And I just I wanted something that was very like title forward, you know, and something that really highlighted the title. I wanted a little bit different look. I wanted kind of like magical, but with a little bit of like a dark edge, which I feel like she really captured with like it almost looked like you're peeking through the bushes at this mystery. And I absolutely love what she did with the covers for this series. So I'm thrilled with these.
I am thrilled too. I was like, yo, this cover here, I had to keep looking at it, take the glasses off, look again. I was like, I was like, oh, this is beautiful. And then when I read it, I was like, oh yeah.
And the paperback is really, really gorgeous. I have some advanced paperbacks, and it's so pretty in person. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, it is. So Elizabeth, tell us a little bit about Double Vision. It's from your what's the Vista de la Neo? Who are these people?
Okay. The Vista Delirio is a completely fictional neighborhood in Palm Springs that I made up. So if you've ever been to Palm Springs, which is my sister and I love going, especially in the middle of winter when it's cold and dreary and foggy here. We'll go down to Palm Springs for the weekend, but it has all these really, like, it's an old town and it has all these different, like, little kind of unique neighborhoods that some are kind of quirky, some are really glamorous, some are like very kind of like they were middle class. There's a lot of beautiful mid-century architecture there and Spanish architecture. And so, but it's one of those cities that has really cool neighborhoods that have very distinct personalities. So Vista Delirio is a fictional neighborhood that I made up that kind of combined different elements from some of my favorite neighborhoods. So it is eccentric and kind of insular and quirky and has lots of artists and kind of entertainment people and that kind of thing. And it's an older neighborhood in Palm Springs. So there's weird old people and there are lots of artists and there are, lots of like families and just a mix of everything. And then lots of ghosts too. You come to find out there's lots of ghosts in this neighborhood, as you would expect, and some kind of notable ghosts. So that's kind of fun.
I love that. Tell us a little bit about Double Vision. Now that you've explained the neighborhood, I'm like, okay.
So the whole series, there's going to be 3 books. The whole series kind of circles around this neighborhood and this little community. I love building community and found family in pretty much all of my books. But this one is Julia is her ex-husband and her ex's husband. So it's who she's remained friends with her ex. They're very close, actually. And so he and his husband have invited her to stay at their house for a while because she's had kind of like a big change in her life. She's in her early 50s and she's kind of semi-retiring. She's a real estate agent and she's like from LA, very kind of glam life. But she's like trying to cut back because she's had some kind of health issues. And so she moves out to this place where like she's been before, but like this is her first time as a local. And she just meets all these people with like the very first scene in the book is this giant like pool party that she walks out into. And it's got like all these, there's a band and there's all these crazy neighbors roaming around. And she's like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? This is nuts.
Right.
And she's like wearing a toga or something. No, she's wearing a kaftan, and she's like, I'm wearing a bed sheet to a party. This is ridiculous. Where am I? But she meets, she starts meeting all of these people. She goes to her very, very first showing. I'm not giving anything away here. I'm not spoiling anything. She goes to her very first showing and this beautiful, beautiful old house, like the oldest house in the neighborhood. This historic home is super gorgeous. And there's a dead guy in the kitchen. Blood all over the patio tile.
We're not buying
and the ghost is there too. So like dead guy, ghost, and she has entered a completely different world at this point. She's like, I don't know what is going on. This is not okay. And so the first book is all about her and these two women she meets, who she bonds with, she gets to be really good friends with, and they solve this mystery. There's also a side romance with a very, very sexy kind of silver fox director who comes into her life. And so it's a lot of fun. It's a murder mystery. There's a lot of humor. There's a lot of, just women talking about being women and becoming friends. And there's a rescue alpaca, for the animal lovers out there, who wreaks havoc in the neighborhood. It's quirky. It's weird. I told my editor before I sent it to her, I'm like, this is a weird book. I don't really know how to classify this book. So it's
what did she think? Did she say yeah, or was she like, no,
No, she loved it. She's like, she said she laughed more in this book than I think any of my other books. I think she said, yeah.
Your books are so good, because I was like, yo, you know how some people when they're writing paranormals and they're writing, it's supposed to be a paranormal mystery or a fantasy. Sometimes they concentrate so much on the supernaturalness of it that you miss the romance. It's like, it's not like, but yours is like, it's even. It's like it's coinciding all together. Like, you get the murder mystery, you get the romance, you get the suspense, you get everything in it. Nothing is lacking. How do you keep that? Like, how do you do that?
I think
that is intentional.
It's very intentional, yeah, because to me, one of the reasons I'm such a huge fantasy fan and have been for really my entire life, it's my favorite genre. But the reason we write fantasy is to examine humanity.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And so when you're really focused on character, when you're really focused on relationship, so much of all of my books are about love.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's romantic love. Most of the time it's romantic love, honestly. But sometimes it's friendship love. Sometimes it's parental love. Like, there's so many layers. Love is so powerful. And that, to me, when you focus on character and focus on relationship, you can build an incredibly compelling fantasy world.
Yeah.
And you should, but if you don't have, you can have the most intricate and beautiful and interesting world, but if people don't feel those characters, if people don't feel connection with your characters, then they're not going to connect with the book. They're not going to connect with the world that you've built. So I think you just have to you have to have both. You have to build an immersive fantasy world. I hope any book I write, whether it's contemporary fantasy, whether it's paranormal romance, whether it's contemporary romance, I want everyone to feel like they are falling into a different world and experiencing something they don't in their ordinary life, because that's why we read, right? Like, that's the fun of it. So I want everyone to feel like they've kind of fallen into a different world and they're experiencing something different, but I also want them to feel that connection. I want the characters to feel like people that they would know, even though that character may be a vampire or a shapeshifter.
Yeah, I love it. I was like, yeah, I know him. I'm going to his house later on.
It's like, yeah, I knew he was going to.
I knew it. Yeah, exactly. Now, Elizabeth, how long does it take you to write a book?
I mean, I've definitely had books that have taken longer, either because of research that I've had to do or, just like logistics in my life. But I write pretty fast. So it usually takes me a couple months to write a full length novel. And a lot of that is just because by the time I finish one project, I'm already kind of mentally planning and sometimes actually like writing out plans for my next novel. So I don't leave a big gap. Usually I try and leave in breaks, obviously, otherwise it gets super overwhelming. But a couple months, because I sit down and it's ready to go. So
it's almost like, so once you basically finish your one novel, you already know, like, okay, this will be for
this thing is, yeah. No, I've got my entire year planned.
Wow.
So I know exactly what I'm writing through the year. So I'm a planner.
I'm about to get on your team. That's what's up. I love it. All right, Elizabeth, it brings us to the next segment here at the Brown Book series called How Dirty Is Your Mind? And so I'm going to give you dirty clues, and you're going to have to give me the clean answer. Okay? I know you don't have a dirty mind, so you're going to be great at it.
Here's the driven snow up here.
Pure. I told everybody that before you got here. I said hers is pure. All right, you ready?
All right, I'm ready.
Here are the clues. First up. What? I rod out your hole. I get paid to play with my plunger. My mind is in the sewer.
Quite clearly, this is a plumber who is who is helping someone with a home. You know, maybe their kid threw a toy down the toilet. You know, it happens.
It happens. All right, cool. You're right. That's a plumber. I told y'all.
You know what, plumber? They make a good living. That's a solid job that anyone could aspire to. Thank goodness for plumbers. They're all you're always happy to see them arrive because when you call them, you really need them to come.
Now listen, you the next one.
Take it however way you want. Yes.
Really need to go. Okay. With your pole to ride out my hole. Okay.
Absolutely. Like it's clearly we're talking about a pipe situation.
Clearly. Okay, the next one.
Mm-hmm.
The harder my log, the longer I go. I'm flaming. The more you poke me, the hotter I get.
I mean, clearly we are talking about either a blacksmith making a fireplace poker, you know, which is a necessary part of the fire, you know, burning fireplace situation.
It's a fireplace.
Fireplace. Okay, yeah. I mean, yes, it's, you know, with the poker, he need the.
Okay. All right. You know what? You need
I have a gas fireplace. Okay, I'm struggling.
Fireplace and a plumber. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
What am I? You come to me when you're naughty. I keep you in the room for hours. If you don't behave, you'll have to do it again.
You know what? I know exactly what this is because I used to teach junior high and I had detention duty.
That's the
I taught 8th grade. I know exactly where you're going with that.
Exactly. That is detention.
You don't show up, you're just going to come back here tomorrow.
I love it. Okay. You are great at this. You ready? Yeah.
All right.
All right. When you whip it out, you can get what you want. You have to insert it to use it. And Kanye has a black one.
Oh my God. What? Oh my God, I know what this is. This is an American Express card. Did I get it right?
Yes. Woo! That was beautiful.
Thank goodness for the Kanye hit because otherwise I was not. Yeah, what a loss.
Because we all know that Kanye.
Oh, he
don't whip his out that much.
Yeah.
Woo. Okay. Ready for the next one?
Okay, let's go for it.
You're doing great. I love you. All right. You do me with your tongue. When I'm bad, you spit. When I'm good, you swallow. What am I? What?
I don't know.
Let's say it again.
Okay, let's hear this again. Okay.
You do me with your tongue. When I'm bad, you spit. When I'm good, you swallow. Who Jesus? Who came up with this game? And why?
Okay, so this is a half clean answer. Is it a popsicle?
Taste.
What?
Taste.
Taste. Okay, so like, okay, that was.
But you get there though. It was you know, the spit and swallow had you, huh? You was about to say, oh, I just
Popsicle. It's a licking type of food. Anyway,
the struggles of it all. All right, last one. Last one. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
A finger goes in me. You fiddle with me when you're bored. The best man always has me first. It sounds like Spartacus.
Maybe I don't go to enough weddings.
Think about it. You're on the right track. A finger goes in me.
Oh, a ring. A ring.
Yes.
Which of course was my first guess because of, as we spoke of before, my mind is pure as the driven star.
It's pure. You have won.
Thank you.
That is so super awesome. Look at you. Woo. Okay. That was a lot there. I didn't know how we was gonna get through that, girl, but you did that damn thing.
I did.
Yeah, you
only
did.
A few questionable answers.
I love it, Elizabeth.
Yes.
When you're not playing the dirty mind game with me, what do you like to do when you're not writing?
We're
trying to get her mind here, y'all. She's trying to clear her mind.
We're gonna shift that mind focus.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Love to travel. Obviously, haven't been able to do that too much the last couple of years. But we do still, we have a home in Addis Ababa, so we're able to see family there, so we can go and visit there. But we haven't done too much like other travel, so that's kind of a bummer. This is super boring, but I love gardening. I really like it's very satisfying for me. Yeah. I'm really fortunate to live in California because we have great weather and you can grow pretty much anything here. But my husband and I both love gardening, so that's something we love to do together. Reading, obviously, but I almost feel like that's too obvious. But that's probably like my main thing, other than like if I can travel, I definitely like I'm super curious. So I always love going to a new place. Excuse me. But when I'm home, I love I love working in my garden and growing vegetables and flowers, and yeah, that's most of my Instagram. And then my dogs.
Oh yeah, we love
the
dogs.
And I want to mention like hanging out with my kid because he's such a cool person, but he's almost 17 now and he's like so independent and he's always kind of off doing his own thing, but he's a pretty cool individual as well. So I'm very, very lucky.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Elizabeth, how many books have you written, and which one is your favorite?
So my sister totaled this up the other day because I didn't know. I think it's 45 now.
Okay.
Yeah, not all of them are out. I'm about this one is coming out August 19th, Double Vision, and then Mirror Obscure, the sequel to this one, is coming out in June, and that's already written. I already have a secret project that will come out. I told everyone I was going to Beyonce drop that. So like whenever it's finished, I'm just putting it out there. There's no pre-order. It's just going to be a total surprise.
Lemonade. I love it.
Why not? Right. So I've like completed projects. It's 45, but not all of them are out yet. So which is my favorite is like it's easier to ask me which is my favorite kid because I only have one. Right. It's such a cheesy answer, but I genuinely love them I love all of them for different reasons, especially my different series, because I have like 3 ongoing series and then I'm starting a new series. And yeah, like they all like feed different moods and different things that I love. Like I love my contemporary romance series because it's just fun and focuses on like a small town that is very much like my own, and there's a lot of humor and a lot of like those quirky, weird small town kind of things. And I grew up in a small town, so I know the pluses and minuses of that.
Yeah.
But then I love my fantasy series. I love, the Erin Chronicles has this big kind of like sweeping love stories. And with that's a Nephilim mythology. So there's like lots of like that's a hard series to write. So
why was it so hard to write?
It's a creative mythology, like unlike vampires or something. I used the idea of fallen angels, but I completely made up a new magic system, and
That's what the Harry Potter of it all.
Sorry, what?
I was like, yeah, what the Harry Potter of it all? Like,
it's not like anything. It's not based on an existing kind of mythology like vampires or shifters or things like that. So I kind of like there's some things that are familiar, like the half angelic, the angels having children with human beings and that kind of. But like I created a separate race that's the Erin race of like half angelic offspring, which have some of the characteristics but not all, and like have this totally different magic system. And so that one is really like I love it because it is unique and it feels very mine, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
but it takes a lot of work because it's I'm always having to check with things. There's a created language in it, so I've done a lot of work on that one, but I love it. And the vampire series, the elemental series, so like the elemental mysteries, elemental legacy, the world, all the different elemental series,
right?
Those are, I mean, I've been writing that world for so long, it really feels like coming home and hanging out with old friends. So I love that about that series. So I mean, if I had to pick one series, I could not even pick a favorite book, but if I had to pick one series, it would probably be the elemental series because it feels like hanging out with friends.
I absolutely love that. Now, girl, your stuff, like it can be like in a whole like movie or series or something like that. Mm-hmm. So have you ever thought about trying to like, pitch it as a series somewhere or doing it yourself? Because I mean,
crazy
good.
I guess I would say there are some possibilities in the works, and I've been presented with some interesting offers over the years. It's all about finding the right. It's all about finding the right producer and finding the right. I used to not really. I used to be kind of like anti. TV or movie adaptation. I was not, it didn't appeal to me. I thought like the books exist in my head. So the idea of seeing them on like the screen was like almost kind of weird, but then I want to say 7 or 8 years ago, it didn't end up happening, but I sat down with a really wonderful young producer who was interested in one of my series, and it was just hearing her passion for the material and hearing her talk about her creative process. It really kind of woke me up to the idea, like, I'm inspired by so many things. If my books inspire someone who works in film or television, someone who writes in film or television, like if my work is inspiring them, like that's a really cool thing. Right. That's not a negative, and it can be its own animal, so to speak. Like it can be related to my books, but be very much its own thing. And it doesn't have to be exactly like my books. And so so I'm open to the idea, but it's just all about finding kind of the right deal and the right match, and all those things have to line up. My agent deals with that kind of stuff. So
I get it. All right, Elizabeth.
Yes.
Author's moments. What's your most urgent priority for the rest of the year? I'm sorry, they threw me off.
Other other than helping my son figure out like where he wants to go to college, author moments. I really, really hope that the Vista Delario series does well. All 3 books are coming out this year. One this month, one in June, and one in October, and they're all planned. I feel like they're really fun. There was a big push for a while for paranormal women's fiction, and I think like people got the idea that this is like something for older readers, and it's not necessarily going to be my jam if I'm not in my 40s or 50s. And we have so many readers, so many women, 40s, 50s, 60s, beyond, who are avid readers and like have not seen themselves represented well on the page. And so I definitely want to meet those readers and, give them something awesome to read and show that they can absolutely still have amazing romance and amazing adventure and paranormal mysteries and experiences as older protagonists. But then I also feel like this series dives a little bit more into the mystery side, and it's quirky, it's fun. I feel like even if you're not in that demographic, I feel like it's still something you would really enjoy. So I just love the series. I think it's super fun. And then so that's probably
right.
And then I will say the very end of the year is when I'm starting my new series.
Oh.
It won't be out the end of the year, but I will be starting writing it. And this is a series I planned for about 3 or 4 years now. I've been very mum on the whole subject, but it's a completely new series. It's a completely new mythology. And I'm really excited to finally start writing it. So.
Okay, all right. Everything's something new. Mom's the word. We ain't gonna tell nobody. We're gonna keep it quiet. But I do want to know this though. Like, is it in the same kind of the genre that we know you for, or did you just completely go left?
I think if you no, it is definitely still in fantasy. If you like, in particular, the Erin Chronicles, I think you're really gonna enjoy this series. If you like, it's fantasy. There's romance. It's I don't want to say anything more than that because I'm really like I will say more when we get closer. But for now, I'm just really excited to be starting something new. I love the series that I have, but it's always fun as an author to start something new and different.
I understand that. That's what's up. Okay. Author's moments. In being a novelist, what did you learn a little too late?
I think this applies to anyone who works from home. I think it's really hard to draw boundaries. And reserving time for yourself and your family. It's very hard to do when you're running your own business, when you're working from home, which so many people are doing now. And I feel like I've gotten better at it over the years, but especially when my son was younger and I was a single parent, I felt like I worked so much because there was no backup plan.
Right.
And I think so many women in particular can relate to that. But I wish I had known earlier that drawing those boundaries around family time and around personal time, whether you have kids or not, like just having time for yourself. I think it's so important. And it's not just important for you as a person. It's so important creatively. I think one of the things that most of us have learned during the pandemic, when our lives have, for most of us, contracted a lot. And we haven't traveled as much. We haven't seen friends as often. We haven't had, office time and kind of work interactions the same way. As a creative person, whatever your art may be, those things feed into you in ways you don't necessarily understand until they're gone. I was starting to feel really for the first time blocked in my writing last year. Time means nothing. Earlier last year. And I was like, it was the first time where I felt like I feel like I love writing. That's always my, when I am down or anything, like that is what I want to do is write. But I was just feeling tapped out. and just taking a couple months and going to Ethiopia and visiting friends and family there, just seeing new things, hearing new music, seeing new people, meeting new people, like that fed me. You know, it really, like, I needed that time to just see new things, hear new things, have new experiences. So, you know, whatever work you're doing from home, especially if you're in any kind of artistic endeavor, artistic work, make sure you leave space to not be on your phone,
Right.
not be, you know, not be working, not be answering emails, to just live and be and walk around your neighborhood. If it's just walking around your neighborhood, taking your dog for a walk, but not being plugged in to work.
I absolutely love that. And you are so right. Because it's like, man, it's so much going on that you just have to carve out time, like you said, for yourself. It's like, you know what? The work is going to be there.
Always.
You're indie. So it's like, you make your own deadlines. But I like it that you know, make sure you carve out time for yourself. Because it's like, it frees your mind. It gives you, it's like a reset. You can breathe and more. I know for me, it's like my creative juices is like, oh, you know, I see things a little more clearer once I kind of just step away from everything and then come back. The world looks different. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah,
absolutely.
It's not so,
like, it's not just for your own mental health. It's free. It's think of it as an investment in your own work too.
Yes, definitely. Look at you dropping those jewels. All right, cool. Author's moments. If you could have tea with one fictional character of yours, who would it be?
Oh, of mine. Oh.
Mm-hmm. Tea, little wine, little something, you know.
Oh, that's a tough one. I think it would be Ben Vecchio, who's the protagonist in my Elemental Legacy series. He is human, had a kind of rough childhood, was adopted by vampires. And so, like, his whole growing up period was among vampires, but he was human. And then I gave him his own series. And so he was like a kid in the original series. And then I waited about 5 years to kind of grow him up. And sent him on all sorts of adventures. And I think he's just turned into one of my most wonderful and compelling characters. I think he's really interesting. Maybe him and Tenzin, who is his co-protagonist in the series.
I love his name, Tenzin.
Tenzin is a very, very ancient wind vampire, and she's very weird, and she's very hard to write. She's wonderful, though. She's completely unique. So maybe the two of them, Ben and Tenzin.
Yeah, I like, and I said his. Yes, Tenzin is the girl. I love her name. And with Ben, I didn't read the whole series, but I read, like, you know, then I think I skipped 5 years like what you did. I hear you. In the beginning, I thought that I know he was adopted by the vampires, because you have some twists and turns in your like, and I was like, is it gonna come out that he's really like a vampire? You know what I'm saying? Like, I was, because I knew he was human, but I was just
he's 100% human. Like, in the series, he's I don't want to give anything away, but like vampires in my series can't have children. Like, that's a no-go.
Right. And that's the thing. So I was like, is it like a twist or a turn? Because you did make a whole new like a method, a new, not race. It was a race kind of, right? Or,
well, they're all human. They're turned humans, but they the vampires in my Elemental series all control an element.
And that's
so they have kind of like clan relationships with different vampires. Yes.
I was crossing the series up, and I was like, when this series, you know, now these are totally so I was like, well, maybe she go. Okay, girl. Look, So I was in different world.
Wind vampire. She can control the air, so she can fly. But the two of them. So he has this really kind of unique perspective of, he's human. He spent his entire life around vampires. He lacks he lacks a fear of them. Like he has a certain amount of respect, but he's familiar enough with the world. So he moves between like the human world and the vampire world really easily, which I think just makes a really interesting dynamic.
It was, and I was like, he moving too easily. Then, you know, like I'd be, girl, you got so many books, and I've been going to different worlds. And
and there's a lot of them. No, I totally get it.
I'm getting my worlds mixed up.
Yeah, even my mom sometimes she's like, "Wait, was he in that book?" I'm like, "I don't think so, Mom. I don't think so. That one." I'll never forget my very first book was A Hidden Fire. That's the first in the Elemental series, A Hidden Fire, and that one I've had some of the wildest reviews for that one. People have called it everything from like tame YA to dirty vampire porn. People have said like the gamut, right? And there's no, actually, like, I'm gonna spoil you a little, there's no on-screen sex in that book. There is later in the series, but like so the dirty vampire porn thing I'm very confused about. And then somebody complained about the werewolves, and there are no werewolves in that book. And I got a review that was talking about like how badly I portrayed werewolves in this book, and I'm like, I think you were thinking of something completely different.
Because I'm like, her world is crossed.
There was no vampires in the elemental world. No,
girl, honey, and listen, and there's a series I used to. It's not on anymore, called The Lichen.
Okay,
Victor or whatever, right? And I was looking at it not too long ago, the other day or whatever, and it was like after I read one of your books, I was like, this is like an Elizabeth book. I wonder, did she watch this? Oh my God. And so mine was like, bang. I think I called one, I forgot. I called one of the characters, one of your characters. She was like, that's not you now you're making her world, they world. I'm like, okay, I gotta step away from Elizabeth right now.
I haven't watched that series. It sounds fun though.
Like The Lichens. You will love that.
Okay. I gotta check that out.
Yeah, you gotta check that out, girl.
I've just gotten, like, for about a year, I didn't watch I swear I didn't watch anything but like reruns of old shows that I had already watched. I don't know why. Like I was not into like watching something new. Like I didn't want to have to work. Like if I turned the TV on, I was just like, I just want something familiar that I know is going to be fine.
Listen,
and like just in the past 2 months, I've started like finally watching new stuff. So.
Oh yeah, you gotta check The Lichen out. You're gonna like The Lichen.
I'm gonna try it. Where is it? Is it streaming somewhere?
You can do. I think it's on Netflix too.
All right, I'm gonna check it out.
It's on Netflix. So yeah, it's like a whole nother underground where it's real hot. You will like it.
I like.
All right, let's see here. Author's moments. This is a good one. What would your pen name be?
Elizabeth Hunter.
That would be your pen name. Why did you pick that?
That would be my pen name. Elizabeth is my middle name. So, and then Hunter is just a play on my real name, but it's a very, my legal name is very unusual. There's literally only one of me in the United States. I looked, so I'm like, I don't
really
like, I need a little bit more anonymity than that. My family's my name is Irish, so it's super weird and nobody can pronounce it. So I was like Elizabeth is my middle name. I'm gonna stick with that. Go with Elizabeth Hunter, and so that is my pen name.
I absolutely love that. You like my name, no one can pronounce, and no one has my name either. Look at us.
Yeah, I know. I have a very unusual. If you know Irish names, you know. They're impossible to pronounce.
I love it. All right, author's moments. If you could sit down with your 15-year-old self, what would you tell her?
Oh man, I guess expect the unexpected. Yeah,
good stuff.
Life never goes the way that you think it's going to go, and but like just I guess be open to change, because I think when you're young, you have like this very kind of like, this is what I want to do, and this is where I want to go to school, and this is what I'm going to do, and blah, blah, blah. And, you have all these plans for yourself, which is not a bad thing, but it can leave you a little bit less, you can close yourself off to opportunities because it doesn't fit in the plan. And as I've gotten older, I think I'm just much more open to life being unexpected and enjoying whatever form that takes. 10 years ago, I never would have expected to be married to an Ethiopian and have half my life in Ethiopia. Would not even been on the radar. And had I been, when I met my husband, and had I been like, well, international relationships aren't practical and can't work, I would have lost out on something truly and honestly amazing. So be open, just be open. You never know.
I absolutely love it. Elizabeth, dead or alive? If you were hosting a dinner party and could invite 5 people from any era, who would it be?
5 people from any era. Well, I love California history. So I would love to meet John Steinbeck, who is one of my writing friends. I don't know him. Writing, I don't want to say idols because that seems weird, but like I just read a lot of Steinbeck and I really admired the way he captured the unusual in beautiful ways, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Madeleine L'Engle, who wrote A Wrinkle in Time, which is one of my all-time favorite books. Mary Ellen Pleasant, one of the first female entrepreneurs, one of the first, I think maybe the first Black millionaire in America. And she was very influential in San Francisco history. I think she had a fascinating life. And yeah, she's just very, very interesting. I would love to meet her and hear about her. Yeah, just an extraordinary life.
What was her name again? I'm sorry.
Mary Ellen Pleasant. I think I'm getting that right. Mary Ellen Pleasant. And she was, if you look up San Francisco history, she was really influential in San Francisco history.
Okay, cool.
Let's see. I'm not super interested in royalty or anything like that. But just the one of the most famous empresses in Ethiopian history, Empress Taitu. She is amazing, and she was super smart, and she and Emperor Menelik had such a fascinating, I said I'm not interested in royalty, and then now I'm going on about them, but like they had such a fascinating dynamic because like she was kind of the hard ass enforcer. And he was like the fatherly emperor of the country, kind of like they cultivated that dynamic, which I think is just so fascinating. And let's see, Michelangelo, because I think he was just such an incredibly extraordinary artist.
I think he was
kind of cranky ass. I kind of love that he by all accounts was a giant cranky ass, and I kind of enjoy those people. So
I think he was sexy too, though. It's something about how, I feel like he had the undercurrently sexy. He was so cranky that I feel like he was like a sex maniac or something.
He was in the Renaissance. He was probably really repressed. He was a Catholic in the Renaissance. He was an Italian Catholic in the Renaissance. I think he was pretty repressed. But like, he's one of the artists, like I look at his art and it brings me to tears. It's so beautiful.
It's so profound. And that's why I'm like, I think Michelangelo was a freak. I think he was writing, he was doing these paintings.
Totally possible.
He slept with Mona Lisa when it was over with.
No, that was Vinci.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. No, Da Vinci was definitely a freak. Michelangelo wouldn't have been interested in the girls, but liked manly women. No. So those are my 5. It would be an interesting dinner party, and nobody would agree on anything, probably.
That's true. You're right. I gotta get back up on my history. I'm getting my worlds crossed. I'm getting my painters crossed.
I do so much research on, especially because like Giovanni Vecchio in Hidden Fire in my first book, he's like the main protagonist, and he was like born during the Italian Renaissance. So I did a lot of research for that one. So
I be reading so much. It just be a whole lot. I absolutely.
You have like 5 or 6 different worlds going on in your brain at one time, probably.
Yes, I'm telling you, I really do. I need to write a book, and my husband was like, "They're gonna lock your ass up if you write a book." I was like, "I know." So I need to. I'm not going to do that. Elizabeth, this has brought us to the end of our interview. I just want to say thank you so much. Before we ask this last question, I want you to I want to thank you so much for coming on here. You've been
Thank you for having me. This was really fun.
You've been such a great sport. I loved it. But before we ask this last question, before we get up out of here, please tell everybody where they can contact you. Give us your social media handles, your website, and where they can get your latest novel, Double Vision.
Cool. Double Vision, the ebook is exclusive to Amazon for right now, but the paperback is available widely. So you can get, and then it should be out in audiobook soon, not too soon, but we're trying to get that. It's in the process right now. My website is very easy, elizabethhunterwrites.com. And then eHunterWrites on most social media. So Instagram, TikTok, Twitter is eHunterWrites because someone took Elizabeth Hunter already and I couldn't grab it. I tried. They don't even tweet, Shay. They don't even tweet. I check it. Like, has Elizabeth Hunter tweeted anything today? No. Just sitting there.
Listen, I love it. That's how I be sometimes. People's just assholes.
So the book is out. Again, it's Double Vision. It's out this month, April 19. I can't believe it's April already. I think if you like paranormal stuff, if you like romance, if you like mystery, if you like weirdness, you're going to like this book. So.
Well, my crew, we love all of that. Make sure you pick that book up and pick up everything that has Elizabeth Hunter's name on it. Elizabeth, last question.
Yes.
If you were writing a book about your life, what would the title be? Why you look like that? You know what? Did you say surprise?
Surprise. No. Hold on. I'll give you a better answer than that. Let's see.
Elizabeth made my head hurt. She said, I was like, why are you looking like that?
No. Let's see. We're going to say Chronicles of a Coffee Addicted Writer. We'll call it that.
Chronicles of a
Coffee Addicted Writer. In fact, you could even like the synopsis could be, she loves coffee so much she went to the birthplace of coffee to find her husband.
You know what?
It's true. He makes the best coffee.
You know what? We're gonna have to.
I'm not saying that's the whole reason I married him. I'm just saying like that was a solid point in his favor.
You know what? It's time for us to go, y'all. Elizabeth.
Chronicles of a Coffee Addicted Writer. That's me.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause for USA Today's international bestseller author of romance, contemporary fantasy, and paranormal mystery, my friend, Miss Elizabeth Hunter.
Thank you, Shay.
Thank you for having me. Hold 1 second for me, Elizabeth. All right, Brown Book is, hey, if you liked the interview, and I know you did, please like, subscribe, and share. All right, you know how we do every Wednesday night? You tell everybody about it, you come back and you watch it, and then you just, tell everybody about Brown Book Series. This is what we do. The Raw Experience, RRAWExperience.com. Please, if you haven't purchased your ticket, go ahead on and purchase it right now. We're also offering book club discounts. So if you're in a book club or you have a book club, just hit us up and we'll have a book club discount just for you because we love you and we love book clubbers and all that good stuff. Now it's, it's kind of like we're only accepting 10. So hit us up. All right, you guys, y'all stay positive, be safe, and we'll holler at y'all on next week. Have a good one.
Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you, it's for us. The fantasies, no one can judge us, no one can judge us. This is for us. Open up your brown book.